He was a joke, now a legend. At first, they laughed quietly. Then they laughed openly. Soon, laughing at David became a habit, not because he tried and failed, not because he was arrogant, but because he existed in a world that decided early on that he was nothing special, and in that world, nothing special was funny. The joke no one took seriously. David grew up in a crowded neighborhood where ambition was rare and survival was celebrated. His father ran a small repair shop that barely stayed open. His mother stitched clothes late into the night, her fingers swollen and tired. Money didn't disappear, it just never arrived. David went to school wearing hand-me-down clothes and carrying second-hand books. He spoke politely, never interrupted, and avoided attention. That made him an easy target. "Bro, don't dream too big," classmates laughed. "Legends aren't born in houses like yours." "Relax, man. People like you are side characters." They called him names. They copied his answers, then mocked his confidence. Teachers ignored it. Friends stayed silent. And David smiled, because he didn't know what else to do. When laughter becomes identity. By the time David reached college, the laughter had changed shape but not meaning. It became sarcasm, dismissive jokes, smirks instead of insults. During presentations, he was interrupted. During discussions, his points were too simple. During group projects, his work was used, his name erased. Once, during a business case competition, David proposed a solution grounded in data and long-term strategy. A teammate laughed. "Bro, you think like an employee, not a leader." The judges praised the final presentation. It was David's idea. His name wasn't mentioned. That night, he sat alone on the hostel rooftop, listening to distant laughter echo through the campus. And for the first time, he felt something stronger than pain. Resolve. The promise he never spoke aloud. David made a promise, not to the world, but to himself. He would never argue with mockery, never chase validation, never beg for respect. If they saw him as a joke, he would let them laugh and build in silence. He stopped sharing ideas casually, stopped explaining himself, stopped reacting. Instead, he observed. Who spoke the loudest? Who failed upward? Who mistook confidence for competence? And more importantly, who underestimated him? Failure after graduation. Reality hit harder after college. Interviews ended quickly. Emails went unanswered. Referrals never came. Meanwhile, his classmates posted promotions, parties, foreign trips. David moved back into his childhood home. The same small room, the same cracked walls, the same whispers of "be realistic." He took a low-paying job as an operations assistant. At work, the jokes returned. "You still dreaming, David? Man, you're loyal to mediocrity. At least you're consistent, consistently average." He smiled politely. They thought he was unaffected. They were wrong. Silent work, ruthless discipline. While others relaxed after work, David studied, not casually, obsessively. He learned finance, logistics, systems design, negotiation, human psychology. He didn't chase trends, he chased fundamentals. He freelanced anonymously, failed privately, improved relentlessly. Every failure hurt, but it taught. Every insult echoed, but it fueled. Years passed. People stopped laughing, not because they respected him, but because they forgot about him. That was perfect. 6. The first breakthrough nobody noticed. David spotted a pattern others ignored. Mid-sized companies were bleeding money, not because of lack of talent, but because of ego, inefficiency, and bad systems. He built a simple solution, not impressive, effective. His first client doubted him, then stayed, then referred him. David reinvested everything. No lifestyle upgrades, no announcements, no celebration. He didn't want applause, he wanted leverage. When the joke walked back in. 3 years later, a struggling company reached out. They needed help. The meeting was scheduled in a glass-walled office. When David walked in, recognition spread. Wait, isn't that the joke guy from college? No way! He looks the same. Some smiled awkwardly. Some laughed softly. David didn't react. He presented numbers. Cold, precise, unforgiving. By the end of the meeting, no one was laughing. They hired him. Revenge without words. David didn't humiliate them. He dismantled inefficiency. He exposed bad leadership. He replaced noise with results. The same people who once laughed now avoided his eyes. At the final review meeting, the CEO said, "You saved us." David nodded, then said quietly, "I tried to help people like you years ago. You laughed." Silence filled the room. That was enough. Becoming the legend they didn't expect. David's firm expanded, not fast, relentlessly. He acquired struggling businesses, rebuilt them quietly, sold them strategically. His name spread, but never loudly. Executives whispered it. Competitors feared it. Media wanted interviews. David declined. Legends didn't need validation. The reunion. Years later, a college reunion was announced. David almost skipped it. Then he remembered the laughter. He arrived late. A luxury car stopped outside. People turned. Whispers followed. "That's his? No way. He was a joke." David stepped out calmly. Same posture, same silence, different presence. People rushed to greet him, smiles replacing mockery, respect replacing laughter. One former classmate laughed nervously. "Guess you proved us wrong." David looked at him, then replied softly, "No, I proved myself right." The final truth. That night, David stood alone on his balcony, city lights glowing below. He thought about the boy they laughed at, the man they ignored, the joke they underestimated. He didn't feel anger anymore, just clarity. They laughed because they couldn't see his future, and now they were standing in it. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, but he was undeniable. He was no longer the joke. He was the legend they created by laughing too soon. Lesson for us. The best revenge is success they can't question. Never laugh at someone's beginning. Legends are born in silence. Remember this when they call you a joke.